I don't know how long this horror went on. When it was over, my car just stopped quietly along the curb on the black bare asphalt. It stopped right where I first noticed the strange man.
Hi, I'm Marika. Not so long ago, about half a year ago, my work involved frequent business trips to a neighboring city. Almost immediately outside the city, I had no connection. The internet didn't work. Along the road was a dense, swampy forest. The road was almost empty. Occasionally there were trucks, seldom passing cars. Usually I turned on some audiobook and had a great time. Around the sharp turn to the left, the dense swamp forest ended, and the almost clear pine forest began. That day, for the first time, I felt that something was wrong. Just around the bend, I was suddenly seized by some vague unease and longing. Tears choked me desperately. I did not understand what had happened, and I attributed it to nervousness because of the morning scandal with my husband, who demanded almost a detailed report from me, as long as there was a telephone connection. On other trips I drove through the place without even noticing it. But one day the uneasy feeling returned and she again experienced the same incomprehensible anxiety and fear, literally just turning the corner, although this time the visit was ordinary and I was not disturbed by anything. Again, the same despair, fear, and foreboding of imminent disaster. This time, however, the feeling of an extraneous presence was added. It was as if someone evil was staring at the back of my head with a hateful look. As I drove forward, it seemed to me that a barely discernible person was standing in the pines behind me in the forest. The anxiety passed and the radio came on. The DJ was talking. The radio. It just came on. That is, the internet just came on. At first I didn't know if someone was really standing there, or if I was just imagining it, but over and over he stood closer and closer to the road. Here, I could already make out that he was wearing green, protective clothing and, for some reason, a military tent. He just stood there looking at the road. I called him the woodsman to myself. Passing another turn and feeling the usual uneasiness, I slowly turned my head to where the mysterious man usually watched from. The forester was standing fairly close to the road, but his face was still hidden under the hood of his cape. Suddenly, he raised his hand and pointed directly at my car. In surprise, I held my gaze longer and drove into the oncoming lane, where a car was desperately humming and trying to brake. We miraculously pulled apart. Since then I have met the woodsman twice more. In the last days of November, at night there was a heavy snowfall, the road was blocked and only part of it was cleared. When she saw the familiar cloak, she once again felt a rush of anxiety and imminent disaster. He was standing so close that she could see his red swollen face, the expression of glee and a wandering malevolent smile. He was rubbing his hands together as if with anticipation of what he was up to. The log that must have fallen out of the truck the day before was covered by the snow, blocking the road on the right side. I managed to slow down, went around the obstacle. The man in the rearview mirror shouted something angrily at me and waved his hands threateningly. A month later, at the end of December, I congratulated the workers on New Year holidays and went home late, but in high spirits. Marinka climbed into the rumbling, comfortably warmed space of the car, turned on high beam, put in a flash drive and turned up the music loud and loud. In the headlights the snow flew into the windshield like a multitude of sharp long needles. The wipers could barely manage to sweep away the flakes. I noticed it late. In the middle of the blizzard, blinded by the headlights, the woodsman was doing some kind of crazy dance in a frenzy on the deserted road in his fluttering cloak. I was terrified. I hit the brakes and lost control. The car skidded and spun on the slippery road. I desperately remembered all the things you can do when you skid, turning the steering wheel in and out of the skid. The madman in the raincoat was standing on the side of the road, laughing and clapping his hands. How long this horror went on I don't know. When it was over, my car just calmly stopped along the curb on the black bare asphalt, as if the blizzard and the scary dance hadn't happened. It stopped right where I had first noticed the strange man. It was my last day at work. Right after the holidays, she wrote her resignation letter. Then I cautiously asked former coworkers who lived in that town what kind of crazy person might have been standing on the road. Many said that accidents often happened in that place, and that a man in a military trench coat was sometimes seen near the road. But who he was, no one knew.
Subscribe to the channel, listen to our real scary and interesting stories, and bye.